Chelsea take on Cardiff this weekend. But the team below Cardiff in the Premier League, Fulham, are pretty much on a hiding to nothing as far as the rest of the season is concerned. And this weekend, Manchester City are going to be playing against Fulham. Is there any way that Fulham can cause City a problem, given how they stifled Liverpool?
Yeah, and, you know, they gave Chelsea a good run. I think that the one thing you'd say about Liverpool, and it's what's been impressive about Liverpool this season, is that playing badly but winning. They didn't play well against Fulham. I think they'd be the first one to say it, but they got the result, they ground out the result. I just think that from Fulham's perspective now, they're playing for pride.
And their new manager? Yeah,
their new manager, and I like what Scott Parker's done because he's gone there and he's actually gone. He's gone back to players that had served other managers well. Their whole transfer dealings in the summer was £100 million for players that just didn't suit the way, were no better than the players that they had then. You can see Scott Parker, he's gone back to what was known before. So they will create problems, but the problem is for Fulham, as much as they may ask questions going forward, you can't concede that amount of goals and expect to stay in the Premier League. And Manchester City, as we know, are one of the most free-scoring teams in the Premier League, and I only see one outcome.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Fulham, but no, Manchester City is just too good. They're just too good in forward areas, and the way they work as a team. For me, I've said it before, they're the best Premier League team I've ever seen as a team. I've not seen a better team, and I thought that's why they've gone to win the league this year.
It would put them, of course, top of the Premier League table because Liverpool play on Sunday against Tottenham at Anfield. Does this feel like Liverpool's biggest match in terms of the Premier League games that are left for them?
Yeah, I think coming back from the international break, getting the players together, they need to go on a run of games because I feel for Liverpool because they are playing to their maximum. They are just to stay in the hunt with Manchester City. They are having to push every week, and by the way, they've lost one game in 31 games, and they're still mathematically not certain of winning the Premier League. It goes to show how strong Manchester City are, and they've got a huge game against Tottenham. I can't wait for that. The atmosphere is going to be incredible, and they've still got a chance. But I just feel for Klopp because for me, he's come up against the best team in Premier League history. This is, for me, simple as that.
They are, as things stand, the highest placed team that Liverpool have got yet to play between now and the rest of the season. Given where this one comes as well, though, does it feel? Every week we say it's the biggest game. It's the biggest game since last week. But does this one feel particularly significant, do you think?
I think it doesn't. I think what interests me about the game is how it's going to play out, because we look at Tottenham. Tottenham, up until recently, they had the best away record within the Premier League. Liverpool have now taken over that mantra. Tottenham have lost the last 3 games away from home. But what teams have done, and this goes as far as to say about Chelsea as well. Tottenham went to Chelsea and Chelsea allowed them to dominate possession. What makes things, I'm not saying go in Spurs' favour, but what gives them more of a chance is the fact that Liverpool going for the Premier League, Tottenham going to remain in that top 4. But what separates it is that Liverpool are at home. Liverpool are going to have to get a fast start. I think the first goal becomes absolutely vital. Liverpool get the first goal, Tottenham have to come out. I think Tottenham will go there and say, right, OK, Liverpool, you want to come out as we'll look to play on the counter-attack against you. But the first goal is going to be huge. If Liverpool get it, and they get it early on, then it will be so difficult for Tottenham. But if Tottenham can hold on for that first 25, 30 minutes, grow into the game, all of a sudden, the nerves could then start to set in. And don't forget either as well the fact of they're playing second. I don't buy into all this, the mental thing, the stress and everything getting to Liverpool players. Look at it for what it was, which was they had key injuries to key players, especially in the defensive part of the game. But I think the game on Sunday, the first goal is going to be absolutely crucial.
It's also against a Spurs side who are playing away from home. However, one of the things that's been going on for them this week is that they've been training in their new stadium. Pochettino walked to me and said, I almost had tears in my eyes standing and looking at this magnificent monument to football that's been built. But look, I mean, psychologically, can that have an effect on Tottenham? That just one of those issues at the start of the season that everybody said might hold them back, hasn't really held them back, but might hold them back at the start of the season, is now sorted.
It's sorted, and I credit the manager again, because it would lesser managers, the pressure that he's under, the lack of recruitment that he's had, he's still steadied the ship. We were talking not long ago about Tottenham challenging Liverpool, Manchester City, which for me is nothing short of a miracle. with the squad and the budget that he's working with compared to those teams. So for me, if they get in the top 4, fantastic, and hopefully they'll be going into what is that incredible new stadium playing Champions League football, because I think he deserves it. I think pound for pound, with what he's got to work with, he's probably doing the best job out of everybody in the Premier League at the moment. I think he's doing an incredible job, and I think it will give them a lift going into the last stages of the season.
I think if you look at their home form and their away form as well, out of the top 6, they've got the worst home form, obviously playing at Wembley, and it's not their home. And I would imagine the players are getting to the point where they want to go home. They want to go back to where they feel as though they belong. The biggest problem that Pochettino's got is that, yes, there will be a wage structure at Tottenham. We know that everybody's spoken about it before. There will be a transfer limit in terms of players that you can bring in. But because Pochettino has been so good at developing players, I look at his strongest 11 and I think to myself, the only way you're probably going to make that starting 11 any stronger is if you go and spend £80 million, £90 million on a player. And these are players that have come to the club, didn't cost anywhere near that amount of money. But what Pochettino is a developer of players. So he's turned players that might have been £10, £15 million when they come to the football club, or £20 million to £70, £80 million players. So that's where the difficulty comes in for him, and that's what I feel that his problem is. And it's the strength in depth which becomes the issue. You look at Manchester City, I look at that team and I think to myself, right, how many players could you lose in that team which will have a huge effect on the team? You look at Fernandinho and you look at Edison in goal. Other than that, I think they have like for like. But then you look at Tottenham and they dealt really well with Harry Kane. But I think if you start to lose more players than that, then it will create a problem for them. And that's the problem that Tottenham will have. Their starting 11 is a match for near enough everybody in the Premier League, but it's the strength in depth as in terms of who can then come in.
Talking of Harry Kane, he's been off to collect his MBE. Well, I say collect, it makes it sound like he went to pick it up from the post office. Went to the palace to be given his MBE, to be awarded his MBE. He said they have to show progress and ambition. They're certainly continuing to show progress. We've seen that.
Yeah.
Do the club now, as well as Pochettino's done, as well as the players have played, do the club now need to match that ambition?
I think so. I think it's a critical time for Tottenham. I don't know how many times over the last year or so we've spoken about it, but it's going to be a real shame if that team breaks up and they don't fulfil their potential. Such a young squad, a manager who knows exactly where he wants to go. Now, they've got into the stadium, so that's not an excuse anymore. Can they go and take that club to the next level? Because that's what the Tottenham fans want. You constantly feel with the Tottenham fans, they're on the brink of something special and it just falls down. It's not because of the manager. The manager's got them to that point. They need more help in certain areas of that squad, as you've rightly said, for them to challenge your Liverpools and Manchester Cities. Two squads that are absolutely out of this world at the moment.
They were challenging Liverpool and Manchester City for a while, Tottenham. Now it's all about finishing inside the top 4. So we've asked the guys, as we head into this final round of matches, to predict the top 4. Honestly, we put these predictions together. It's a starting point for a conversation, and it is also a stick to beat you with at the end of the season. So you've both gone for City to win the league title. Nothing to do with Manchester United allegiances making that the less painful of the two options.
Why would you think that?
Why would you have Manchester United
coincidence?
Liverpool in second place. Of course, it is in Manchester City's hands at the moment. And this is where we differ. You think Manchester United are going to finish above Tottenham, Danny?
I do, because I look at the running for Tottenham. They have to go to Liverpool. They have to go to Manchester City. They've got the Champions League. Their stadium could go one way or the other for them.
Manchester United have got the Champions League as well.
Yeah, the Champions League, I know, but you know what I mean. They haven't got to face. They've got to face Manchester City. Manchester City, but they haven't got to face Liverpool. But that's at home as well. I think from Tottenham's perspective, I think, you know, I do believe that they will finish in the top 4. I just feel that going to Liverpool, going to Manchester City, going to playing Manchester City twice, then again in the Champions League, just gives United that edge. And I think from United's perspective as well, OK, they've lost, you know, they lost the last game in the Premier League, but they're in the ascendancy now. And like I say, it could go either way. It could all be as far as to see how quickly they settle into their new home for the rest of the season, because let's not forget, Tottenham are going home, but what a thrill it's going to be for opposition players to go there as well. That's going to be huge as well, and I don't think that can be forgotten about.
I do think Arsenal are a big threat, and I think we have to give Unai Emery some huge credit, because again,
not enough to actually put him in the top 4, though.
No, I just think what's happened with Solskjaer at Manchester United has been nothing short of miraculous, but I think he's done an incredible job there, because they were deteriorating as a football club. There was a lot. This time last year, there was so much fractious talk about Arsenal and what he's done in a short space of time. He's got the club back on the right track, and for them to be challenging, and they're up there. The defeat of Manchester United was a fantastic result for them, so they're right in with a shout as well. I just think Chelsea have been too up and down, so I think it's 4 from 5 for me, and I think Arsenal have got as good a chance as any as well.
Just briefly, how big a factor was Europa League football in terms of keeping Arsenal and Chelsea out of it?
Not just the factor of obviously playing on the Thursday night, but it's the fact of the breaks between first leg and second leg, and obviously the Premier League games, and the break for Arsenal and Chelsea is less than it is for Manchester United and Tottenham.